In a bizarre turn of events, this video may be posted before the morning video. When I got to work today, if you saw the morning video, you know that I was I was feeling very ill this morning. I feel much better now, but I wasn't feeling well most of the day. And I won't go into detail, but I started with a tummy ache and it became much worse. So while uploading the video, without processing it, it has been going faster, meaning that I've been pretty lucky. I've been able to upload the daytime or the early AM video at work, and the PM video I upload when I get to my house. But today, after I got to work and I started to upload the video, it was a pretty poor signal strength, so it wasn't going very fast. On top of that, something bizarre happened. The YouTube app decided to update. My hair is in my suit coat. The YouTube app decided to update while it was uploading, and this caused a upload failure. So I had to start over. So it's currently sitting at 24%, and I know that it won't complete during my ride home for a couple of reasons. It never does. I'll get a few more percentage points out of it while I'm driving. It'll go in and out of signal. I don't know how much resource me recording this video is going to take away from it, but it doesn't matter. Even if I wasn't recording this video, it wouldn't finish. So there's that. It was bizarre. If you watch the other video on my way to work, other than belly aching about my belly ache, I also talked about goals. Like I want to retire eventually, and I was thinking about I'm never ready for anything. I wasn't ready to get married. I wasn't ready for kids. I always feel like just not financially, that's it. You always want to have more money put aside before you do things, and you could do that. You'll never feel like you've done enough. So one of the things I was thinking about when I get close to retirement, like I am now, was something to learn over the course of the next 10 years or so that I'm in a position to maybe retire from my full-time job, but have some kind of skill that I can use from home. Well, what's funny is, I don't believe I've really talked about that before. And when I got to work today, one of my coworkers, who is very close to retirement, literally started a conversation about the same thing, about retirement, when he thinks he's close. He's within a year or so, a little over a year, till he retires. And found out something interesting. My company, I don't know if they're going to offer it in 10 years, but apparently they offer an early retirement thing. And it's something along the lines of, you work till you're 63 and a half, and then you retire. They'll cover your medical till 65. It's called early retirement. That sounds nice. I don't know if I want to work until I'm 63 and a half, but I guess I probably will. I was hoping to retire at 55. But yeah, I definitely won't be ready at 55. I guess I could. Depends on how much money I want to put away, but I don't think 55 is an option. So anyway, it was funny. He went on about that, and so I continued the conversation. We went back and forth, me kind of rehashing some of the stuff that I said in the morning video, and his first thing to me was IT. You need to go into IT. I was like, oh my God, no. I've been dealing with computers my whole life. I've mentioned in other videos that I used to build and sell computers back when there was 386s, 75 megahertz 386 SXs, and when you build and sell computers, you become the go-to guy. So you build them for your, even if you don't build them for your family. I sold them to coworkers. That some points that became a nightmare. But you get sucked into doing IT work for everybody and their brother. That that went on for years. Like I was everyone in my family, like anything went wrong with computer, like my parents were just whoring me out to all my relatives. Just go over, fix your uncle's computer. All right. I didn't mind. I didn't, but it was, it was time consuming. And I like computers. I like teaching myself how to program. I know a little bit of a couple of languages. I mean, I'm not currently fluent in any of them. Pascal, Turtle Graphics, C. The only thing I got, like I was getting really, really good at was Macromedia Flash, which isn't so much a language, just a collection of tools that I was making Flash websites and stuff like that, because Flash was really cool, and of course it went away, I guess, because of security issues with it and stuff like that. But anyway, the point is, like, I don't know if I want to get into IT, whether it's network administration, security, anything like that. Just maybe, as long as it's something I can do from home, I guess I'm willing to learn that field and try to get a job doing that. Like, the goal is just to be able to retire and supplement my income until I feel that I've got enough to fully retire, or maybe continue to work. It's important to steal jobs from everyone else. Make sure. At one point, when I was a wee lad, I had 3 jobs at the same time. Two essentially full-time jobs and 1 part-time job. I nearly died. That was fun. But anyway, yeah. So he was talking about that, and we talked about, like, what he planned on doing, like how much of his retirement income. He's one of those guys that, he fully funds his thing. So I was like reminding him, it's like when you're doing your calculation, remember, if you're no longer going to be funding your retirement plan, like if you're fully funding it, you can probably knock 25% off. You don't need 100% of your salary, because you're not living on 100% of your salary now. But there's other expenses. I mean, it's a give and take. Like I said, I wanted to be a financial planner at some point, but yeah, there's a lot of things. There's a lot of things you have to take into account when you're going to retire. So, like, there's things you don't have to spend anywhere. Like for me, when I retire, assuming nothing changes, I won't have this incredible commute to work, which means I won't have to pay for gas. There'll be a lot less wear and tear on the car. There'll be less oil changes, not less inspections, but there'll be less wrong with the car when I go to inspection. Eventually, there won't be a car payment. Eventually the mortgage goes away. And that's something we have to start thinking about, like whether or not we want to pay down all of our expenses, so that, like, when we reach retirement age, I'm older than my wife by a pretty significant amount. So I will reach retirement age long before her. So we have to decide whether or not, like, we want to make sure that certain bills go away. Like, I'm trying to think, it's 10 years from now, so I am probably going to be in one more car by then, I would think, especially based on the amount of mileage I put on. I would like not to be, but it's not unlikely that in 2032, this 2018 Subaru is going to be pretty beaten up. So anyway, all of that was just to say, I thought it was a funny coincidence that I was talking about retirement, when I want to retire and how I want to do it, and then literally, like, I walk into work, he just walks over to my desk, sits down, and just starts talking about retirement. It was a pretty funny coinky-dink. So there's any number of things that may have caused my intestinal distress today. I was at a thing over the weekend, religious ceremony, and then a lunch. Any number of things at the lunch could have done it. Brings up an interesting story about corn that we all know, but I could be stress related. Who knows? But yeah, I was pretty ill for most of the day today. better now. So I'm gonna do something stupid like eat spicy foods when I get home. Yum, yum, yum. The contest I've been talking about, I don't believe I've mentioned it on the AM show, so that's part of the gag, is that the viewer has I don't believe he's aware that I'm making these, so he doesn't, he knows that he's in a contest versus the planet, and he's probably annoyed because he's probably scrolling through the AM videos trying to figure out what the heck I'm talking about, but it's only on these videos that I talk about, and it's basically there's a single dollar up for grabs. Someone has to go to that channel or on this channel, find out who he is, tag him, and then once he responds, you win $1. That's it, just one. There's not $1 for everyone on the planet, just $1 for one person. The first person to do it gets that dollar. If Matt finds this channel and makes a comment before you find him, I'm pretty sure I've been keeping the rules pretty consistent all the way through, but that's the story. If he gets here before you guys get him here, then he wins, and he gets at least $1. I may take him out to dinner, or him and his family, who knows. I may not. I was just at the Franconia the other day. Never mind. So there's that. The other channel had 2 subscribers. I know who the other subscriber was. I told you that on this channel. I don't know if I mentioned it on the other channel, but I did. I might have mentioned it this morning. I was very tired. I don't know what the heck I was talking about. But I did have a long, hard talk with that second subscriber, and I said, knock it off. And they knocked it off, and they're no longer a subscriber. So we're back down to 1 subscriber. And I looked at this channel. There's actually 0 subscribers. I thought there were 2 on this channel as well. I thought I was one of them. Apparently, I don't subscribe to any of my channels. For good reason. I mean, there's nothing here. There's no content. As I said, I don't like the sound of my own voice. I don't want to be recorded twice a day that I've put up a video that I'm not going to watch. It just sounds like bullshit to me. Freaking old guy driving back and forth to work, just rambling about himself. Conceited bastard. So I got a good jump on the way home today. I'm pretty sure I'm going to make good time. That won't stop this video from being less than an hour. And if you're one of the crazy people that's going to watch the whole thing, I got to tell you, you're only 13 minutes in. So buckle up, Buttercup. This is going to get real boring. Some of the other, well, they're not on this channel. I think on this channel there might be 2 other videos. One of them is me starting to do the remodel of the office, I think. And I can't remember what the other one was. I thought it was the Kaleidoscope. It might be the Kaleidoscope. But the balance of them are just these driving home videos. I started to bookend the driving to work videos. I'll look later, but I won't report back or anything like that because it's a lot easier for you to just click on my channel and you'll see the videos. There's like maybe 6 at this point. I think there's 5, if that many. And I think I already mentioned the watermark. I believe it's in this corner over here. I'm going to do something better. As I've stated, I think on this channel and on the other channel, I need to rename these. I've been asked multiple times to change the names of the channel. At this point, they're both my name. One is the long version of my first name, the other one's the short version of my first name. But I've been asked to change the names of the channel. I'm assuming that's easy to do. I don't know. But I don't know what to change them too. Like some of the stuff we brainstormed, obviously is taken. I mean, YouTube's a very popular site with hundreds and hundreds of creators. So a lot of the names have already been taken. Like I think one of the ones we were leaning towards was Random Ramblings, but there's like multiple versions of that. Some other things. I guess it's difficult because there's not a actual, you know, like I'm saying, there's no actual substance, so it's not like I can focus in on like a subject matter or a topic to include in the title. Not that matters. I mean, people are very creative. There are a lot of channels you can't tell, like I've mentioned before, Fran's Lab. I mean, she's got a laboratory and she is Fran. I guess I should go around this guy. Everyone else is like I got people on my ass because this guy's in the fast lane. I hate it when they get in the zoom lane and they don't zoom. I don't want to pass him on the right, but I feel as though he's left me with no choice, and that's what everyone else is doing, so I'm going to have to do it. And now the guy in the middle lane is pacing the guy. So now people in the slow lane are passing. Oh my goodness. You can't quite see it, but all right. So he stepped it up, so now I can move faster, go around the guy in the zoom lane. Everyone else is going around the guy in the zoom lane. If you're going to be in the zoom lane, you gotta zoom. So on the other channel, I started to tell, what the heck was that? Getting notifications as I drive. I started to tell the story of the time we went to the Mediterranean for like a 3-week cruise or something like that. It was our honeymoon, and we did like a ancient civilizations tour, but we were all over the place. Like we were all this other place. We were, you know, a bunch of places in Italy, Turkey, Cairo, Alexandria, Capri, Pompeii. We were all over the place. It was a really great tour. And then one of the things that happened on this tour was that there was a when we went to Cairo to see the Great Pyramid, all the pyramids there, and the Sphinx. We kind of got separated at one point from our group. Actually, I'll give you some backstory. So it was the worst part of the trip. It was the scariest part of the trip. It was we were there during Ramadan, which they take pretty seriously, and I guess they get pretty grumpy too because they can't eat all day or something like that. I apologize for not being very well versed on the religion, but at one point during the trip, we were in a museum full of like antiquities, like stone things, sarcophagi, lions, all carved things. It was really neat, like fascinating stuff. And then the bell starts going off, and there's a group of us, and the guy, one of the curators or guards or whatever they are, he starts walking towards us, doesn't say a word, just puts his hand out. I happened to be closest to him in the group, and it was like he put his hand on my chest and he just pushed us all out of the museum because it was time to, like, I didn't find out until later, but we were removed because it was time to pray. But it was just the most bizarre way of doing it, not asking us to leave, but just like pushing us out. It was freaky. But so you tie onto that the fact that when we went to Cairo, we got onto a bus, and I want to say it was something crazy, like a 6-hour bus ride. Like it was at least 3 hours. I think it was 6. It was a long time. I mean, it's pretty far in. Like we were at Alexandria. We had to get to Cairo. It's a long trip. Alexandria, I think, is the port city. So we're taking this bus, and there's these 2 to 3 Jeeps that are with us at all times, and they keep rotating, like in the front of the bus, back of the bus, front of the bus, back of the bus, and they're an armed escort. Like I don't think any of the kids in these Jeeps, and there's like 4 to 6 kids in each Jeep, armed to the teeth. None of them were like over 15 years old. They were very young looking, and we were doing no less than 90 miles an hour the entire way. And what would happen is when we would get close to intersections or cities and stuff like that, one Jeep would go ahead, or 2 Jeeps would go ahead and block traffic so that the bus did not have to slow down or stop. I guess Americans were in danger, or tourists in general. I guess it's a dangerous place, so they did not want the bus to stop at any point between Alexandria and Cairo. So that was weird. Like that gives you this uneasy feeling, being surrounded by armed Jeeps and like traveling at breakneck speeds and like not stopping for anything. When we get there, we're going on a tour of the pyramids. We're seeing the Sphinx. Interesting story about the Sphinx is I have pictures, and in the movies when you see the pyramids, you see the desert in the background, and that's real, but that's like literally one specific angle that you look at it and it looks like there's desert in the background. The city is actually built practically right up, and if you go to Google Earth and you look at the pyramids, you'll see this. You'll see that the city is right up to the pyramids. It's not out in the middle of the desert. It's a city there. And what's even funnier is there's a Kentucky Fried Chicken facing the Sphinx. Like they're literally having a staring contest. There's a Colonel Sanders looking directly at the Sphinx. The Sphinx is looking at Colonel Sanders. I mean, they're not feet away. I mean, it's a good distance, but that's like line of sight. There's like KFC and the Sphinx. So we're taking the tour. We're going into the different pyramids, and we're going around this one point, and like somehow, just like bumbling Americans, we lost our group. They went to go take pictures somewhere, and we're just like, wow, look at all this. And so these 2 fellas, they're like, hey, come with us. Great place to take a picture right back here. And he's leading us away from civilization. There's just like this, there's no one over here, and he wants to take us behind this wall. He's like, yeah, great place to take a picture. There's 2 of them actually, and they're like, come on, just take a moment. You should come around. So we know not to do it, so we don't. And that freaked my wife right out. Like she just didn't want to do anything at that point. Like just stand, wait for everybody to come back, and then we'll get on the bus. So in the meantime, while we're waiting, this what do you call it? Bender. This girl, my wife is convinced it was a young girl. I know it was an older woman. We can have that debate later. But this woman comes over, and she's it's so choreographed. She's trying to give us this little metal pyramid, clearly just a sheet metal pyramid filled with sand. Just a what do those things? Knick-knack. Can't think of the other word. It's like a Polish word. Tchotchke. Something. Anyway, so just like a little pyramid thing. She's like, so she's like, you take, and like my wife's like, no, I don't want to take it for free. She's afraid she's going to get in trouble. Then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, this Keystone Cop appears. He's like, wow, he's just like screaming at everybody. He's like, what's going on here? And it's like, no. Like, and the one's like, no, you take it free. Like, she's still doing that bit. And my wife's like, no, I want to pay you. And I think that's part of the thing. Because my wife ended up giving her a 20 for something that was worth about a dime. And I think that's the thing. I think all these people are in cahoots. Like, depending on how early you get there, you either get to be the get to be the little shysters, or you get to be the cops. Because this thing looked so choreographed. Anyway, that pushed my wife over the edge. She had a very bad time until we left. she was in tears at that point. It was a very, very traumatic. I know it doesn't sound traumatic the way I'm describing it, but like, you have to think about the situation, what we've been through up to that point, all the crap that's going on. Like, she's thinking, we're not getting out of here in one piece. So yeah, that was the story that I think I talked about on the other channel, just that Egyptian part. Some of the other stuff that happened while we were there is we got to go into the Great Pyramid. Not worth it. Absolutely not worth it. I mean, it's worth it just to say that you've been in the Great Pyramid, but it smells horrible. It's difficult to get in. It's a hole. There's steps that lead up to the hole in the pyramid. It goes straight down. It's just a plank of wood. It's a two-way. Like, you know, you have people coming out and going in at the same time. It's a plank of wood with just pieces of board down to it. It's not even steps. It's just you slide down to the next thing. It smells like a sewer. We got sick a couple days after that. Like when we were in Rome, we were sick, and I think it's because we were in there. Like, just so many people coming in and out. And you get in, and you just, at the bottom, there's just this room. There's no hieroglyphics. There's no nothing. And I was like, what are we doing here? Like, there's nothing to see. Like, so you literally have the ability to say that you've been in the pyramid, but it's not like what you think. It's like not the you know, like hallways with intricate hieroglyphics and columns and neat colors. Like, none of that there. I mean, I'm sure there are other places, but at the Great Pyramid, there's absolutely nothing. It's just a stone room. You might as well be in like a cistern or someone's basement, someone's dirty, stinky basement. It was rather anticlimactic. Wasn't pleased. There was other stuff that was happening in the background too that was making us nervous. There was a fellow way off in the distance, so we're here. Sphinx is here. Well beyond the Sphinx is another place that's fenced off. And there's like a guy over there, like, and he's just looks like someone. He's either a tourist or some kind of news guy or someone doing a documentary, and maybe he didn't have permission to be there, but you see him setting up his camera sets and lights and things like that. And then all of a sudden these cops show up, and you can tell they're giving him the business, and like, he quite quickly packed up his stuff and left. We were nervous back then. The world is completely different now. I can't even imagine what it would be like going over there now. Kind of sucks. We wanted to go to Europe for my 50th birthday a couple years ago, and Fauci unleashed the virus, so that got canceled. I think we're still going to go. I just don't know when. I don't know that this year is going to work out because of stuff, giant projects that are going on at where my wife works that are going to be extremely time consuming for, like, literally for the whole year. I kid you not. So I explained this yesterday, and I'm going to do it again. So I went through the toll at Valley Forge. I'm taking the first exit 327 onto North Gulf Road. Just keep turning right. Just keep turning right. Keep turning right. Don't go through the intersection. Just turn right. North Gulf Road towards the King of Prussia Mall. And then you just keep going. Just keep going straight on this road until you get to the next exit of until you get to 422. Just follow this road to 422, and it's much more tranquil than trying to get onto 422 there, because this time of day there's just a ridiculous amount of traffic. I've lately when I've gone that way, I've stopped entirely. But before I stopped, like it was 50-50. Like when I get all the way up to the front, I don't want to try to muscle my way in. I don't feel like doing that. And what I end up doing is coming all the way around, missing my entrance, and then I have to come here to this intersection, which it takes a long time to get to. Right, I just passed it, and I'm running parallel to 422 now anyway. So I believe this may be quicker than getting on back there, because you have to fight traffic, you have to merge, it's single file, and then you have to merge onto 422 itself. When you do this, you get to the next exit pretty quickly, and the merge is much, much easier, because there's like you actually get onto the highway in a traffic lane, an entrance lane, so you can be up to speed, and you can get right on. The other way, not only do you have to merge, get onto 422, it's got its own lane, but everyone's there and everyone's trying to get out of it because that lane ends. So anyway, I know I explained this yesterday, I just wanted to explain it again. Like I said, with the first time when I explained it on the early AM channel, I said right instead of left when I was talking about merging over there, but whatevs. I didn't look into it. I know I was talking about the casino. I know you don't have to stay at the casino. Still haven't thought of what that word was I was trying to think of. Not a patron of the casino, not a tenant of the casino. You are not a member. Like if you're staying in a room, you are called a room stayer inner. Right, a hotel room stayer inner, that's it. I know I said guest, and guest is probably the word, but I swear there's a different word. I'm probably wrong. Guest of the hotel. I thought there was another word for what you are. So I'm sorry, I didn't tell you what the thing is, but if you keep your eyes peeled, like there's signs for 422 West, so you make that first, after you pass the casino, you make that first left, after you go up the hill and under the overpass, and then you make another left, follow the sign 422 West, and you're on 422 West. Sorry about that. I didn't realize the sun was shining right on you guys. That didn't help. Still not helping. Maybe if I just like turn. Sausage. I was thinking about making sausage for dinner. I'd like to make some sauerkraut too, but I don't have time to ferment it. Should I stop at the store and get some sauerkraut? Jeez. That sun is pretty bright. Today was a holiday. I guess it was a federal holiday, but it's Martin Luther King Day. I believe that's what today is. So my wife's credit union was closed, but unfortunately she still had to go to work. They decided to have some kind of meeting. She's actually doing a presentation for the meeting. So it sucks she's not getting home until like regular time, even though it's a day off. I get home, there's a widowmaker in the front yard I have to deal with. Giant branch. I've got some really old growth trees around my house, and there's this giant branch which has fallen from higher in the tree, and unfortunately it's nested really well in some of the lower branches. I tried to pull it down yesterday, but I got home, the sun was setting fast, and I knew, like, once we got home, I had to go inside and do some things. I knew it was going to be dark by the time, but I got to remove it because it's literally like hanging out over towards the street, and if it slides and hits someone's car, that would be bad news. It's because it's a big branch and it could do some damage to somebody. Even if it wasn't aimed towards the street, I still got to take it down because it's just, like I said, it's truly a widowmaker, and it is a dangerous stick hanging in the tree. But it's hanging in there so good. I am about 40% sure that I am going to injure myself removing this branch from the tree, and I'm going to do it anyway. I will try to be careful, but I am pretty sure, because it's like this. It's like hanging on a bunch of branches, and it's like this. So when I remove it, I got to make sure that it's going to slide past me. It's not going to fall straight down because it's being cradled by all these other branches. It's literally aimed at the street. But it's so, jeez Louise, it's so high that I need a ladder to reach it. So I'm not going to have a lot of ability to dodge and weave as I'm removing it. Got to hope for the best. I'll have my daughter out there. I'll have her dial 911 and wait. Doing that thing again, Smithers. A lot of bouncing. Am I in the right spot? I usually do something like that. I'm usually off to one side. Something like that. So like I said, this video may end up being up before the other video finishes uploading. I mean, it seems unlikely. I wonder if that would even work. Can I simultaneously upload from my phone 2 videos to 2 different channels? I mean, I know I can upload to the different channels individually, but if I try to do them simultaneously, does that work? I don't know. I'll find out. And I'll talk about it tomorrow. Ride in, I talked about the heater, the issues I'm having with my heater, and the fact that it runs constantly. Can't figure out what the issue is. Not only does it run constantly, but it's constantly circulating even when I have all the thermostats turned down. So there's either a short somewhere, I think, or it's the aquastat, and I don't know the answer. I did some experiments to figure it out, but unfortunately I didn't have time this morning to check the results, and I had to turn the heat back on because it was like down to 25 outside. The house was fine, but I wasn't going to leave the heat off all day for fear that it wouldn't kick on and then the house would be cold. And we've got, like, the birds and the cats and the frogs, the tadpoles, whatever else is living in my house. There's my daughter. She didn't have school today, so she's there. My wife may be there. Who knows? like I said, you can only create polls, or at least from what I'm aware of. Like on the other channel, we're doing a best of, and there have been no votes yet on the best video of 2022. It's going to be the duck video, but I need somebody to vote so that I can say, okay, the votes are in. Minute of Ducks won. Like I said, if nobody votes in the next couple of days, I'll just vote myself, end the voting, and then we'll do the best of and award 1 Minute of Ducks the best of 2022 award. What I didn't do yesterday, I didn't bring the ladder upstairs. That's unfortunate. It's not a super heavy ladder, but now I gotta bring it all the way upstairs to get that branch. I have a grabber. I don't think it's enough to give me the leverage. Like I recently bought it at, oops, just some debris in the road. Recently bought it at Harbor Freight. Harbor Freight, like I badmouthed them for years. I thought their stuff was crappy. I don't know why I started thinking that. Maybe I had one bad experience, but they've got some really good deals there. Something I bought recently, I hate this. When it's a good deal, I buy, those flyaways. That got worse. One of the things, besides the grabber, one of those things for grabbing things on a shelf, you've got the little trigger. Anyway, the magnetic bars, so they're for organizing tools. Like, you know, it's like an 18-inch or however long it is, 22-inch, I don't remember, but it's just a magnet. And it's, I think it's like $4 for this long magnet, really strong, and I'm using it in my kitchen. Like, I think I bought like 5 or 6 of them. I'm probably going to hang a second one in my kitchen. I hung the first one up, and I use it for holding the knives. Like it's on the wall. Next, there's a cabinet, and then the refrigerator's there, but there's a wall that comes out, like, so a separator wall where the counter ends, and the cabinets begin there. So like a little cutout for the refrigerator. Anyway, on that, I angled it because it's longer than that section, but I put it at an angle. I attached it to the wall there, and now I have all of mine, and it's super strong. Like, I have no fear of these knives falling at all. And I have them arranged such that I will not cut myself when I go to grab a knife off this magnet. I think it is meant for organizing tools, like putting your socket heads on there, or like just putting your screwdrivers or whatever. Like, really, really strong magnet, and really good deal. Like I said, I'm really happy with it for holding my knives. It's covered in enamel, so it won't damage the knives. I mean, you got to be careful not to like just put it up their blade first and go sideways. But it's a pretty good deal. And like I said, it's at Harbor Freight. I think it's like $4 for one of these things, and it's fantastic. So if you want to, instead of spending like whatever ridiculous amount of money, I mean, it's not as pretty as those stainless steel looking things. It's black enamel. It's not ugly. But it's I think it's a really good deal. Instead of like, I've been looking at, like on Amazon and things like that, I've been looking at magnetic knife strips to hang knives on, and they're just ridiculously expensive. And this thing, like I said, it's not ugly. It's and it's $4, and it does the exact same thing. And like I said, I'm going to hang another one there. I might hang another one there. Like right now, I've got 2 cleavers and 4 knives hanging on the one, and these are literally the only knives I use in the kitchen. The 2 cleavers and and I think I recently put one of my tongs up there, like little metal tongs for grabbing stuff and moving around, because I use those a lot too. So I just like all of my pretty much daily drivers I just have hanging on that block now. I'm thinking about my viewer's kitchen. I've been in his kitchen before. I think there's a couple of places he could attach them. I'm trying to remember what kind of backsplash he has. I don't know. I really don't know how much. I think they cook quite often. I don't know if something like that would make sense to them. I just think it's pretty cool. It's better. Like, part of the reason it works for me is I'm an idiot, and the drawer that I keep the 2 cleavers in is also the drawer that has the pull-out cutting board. So invariably, I start doing stuff. I pull out the cutting board. I've got stuff lined up on it, and then I need the cleaver, which is in the drawer that's underneath. So it's nice to have them actually on a magnet block behind me rather than in a drawer underneath where I'm working. I'm probably going to use them downstairs too. Not exactly sure how for organizing tools. I'd probably be good for sockets. I got lots of sockets that are in drawers and just unorganized. But the tool area itself, I really want to do a flinch. I want to do a French cleat system where I put up the French cleats and I just like have kind of a modular thing where I make racks that I can hang. French cleats are, if you don't know, it's just you take a 2x4 and you rip it down the middle at a 45-degree angle, so that when the board goes against the wall, instead of having a flat on top, it's got an angle like this, 45 degrees, so you can nest another 2x4 into it that's cut the same way. So it's like kind of a system, and you usually do 2 of them, so you have an upper and a lower, and it keeps things even, and it also stops them from tipping and stuff like that. You don't necessarily have to have the second French cleat on the thing, as long as it's got the lower French cleat to lean on, so it doesn't kick in depending on how you load it. Like if you load it too far forward, there's weight, you'll like kind of, you know, do damage to the cleat. But if you've got them spaced well and you make your racks or your boxes the right height, then you only need the one French cleat to hang it, and then the second one just acts as a backstop. Something in my teeth, I apologize. So that's, I've been thinking about that for a little while. I don't know when I'm going to do it. Like I said, I've got a lot of projects. I still haven't finished the party room. The office is done. Is my face red? It looks red. Can't tell. Ah, sun. It is red. Very red. What's that all about? If you don't know, spit. If you don't know what French cleats are, look them up. They're really, really cool. Lots and lots of YouTube channels show you how to do a French cleat system. And you might want to do your research before you just go out and make it, because I think they do make things for French cleats, but like I'm not sure. I say 2x4. I'm pretty sure it's 2x4s, but you just want to make sure that you make the right size for what you're doing, in case you're going to be buying stuff instead of making stuff to go on the French cleats. You got to decide your spacing too, but anyway, when I start that, maybe I'll make that one of the maybe I'll make that some of the content on one of these channels, either the AM or the PM one. Well, I call them the AM and PM channel, but I mean that content wouldn't. It's not. You know what I mean. It'll go on at least one of the channels as a project. I won't do it on my ride to work or my ride home. It will be a separate video where I'm actually doing it and showing you what I'm doing. You knew that. I'm not even sure. I'm not sure I knew that, but I'm pretty sure I knew what I meant. there's a diner. I'm about to get onto 100. I'm making really good time. There's a diner here on 100. It used to be called, I think it used to be called the Pottstown Diner. And we used to go there all the time. It wasn't super amazing. It wasn't bad. We used to go there all the time. So it was definitely passable. This is a dangerous entrance here. My wife got rear-ended here. I think I mentioned that in the other video. Right here as we're getting off, like, because what happens is you have to look behind you to make sure that there's not traffic coming. So if you think the car in front of you has gone, like if you don't make sure that they're gone and you start looking and you keep rolling and they had to stop because there's a car coming, you're going to rear-end them. And that's what happened to my wife. She got rear-ended. We were in the pickup truck, so there was no real damage, and that turned into this whole ordeal I won't go into again. I talked about it on the other channel, but that's a dangerous intersection. But once you get onto 100, there's this bridge that you go over, and it ends. The first thing is the Pottstown Diner, which I think is now the Route 100 Diner. We used to go there. My daughter loved going there because the fella that owned it, whenever kids would come in, they'd always get a toy. I mean, just something he either got from, I forget what it's called. They have a magazine that comes out, and they like sell all this, like, you know, really cheap holiday stuff, but like toys and things, but it's all cheap dollar store kind of stuff. You know, you buy it in bulk. I can't remember the name of it. But anyway, just like cheap ass toys, but toys. You know, so she liked going there to get a toy, and like invariably she would get a toy every time we went there. It's now called the Pottstown Metro 100 Diner. We've been there once since it became that, and I was very unhappy with it. And of course, it doesn't have the guy anymore. I guess it's new ownership, so like there's no toy. So it's been a few years since we went there. We may give it another day in court, but like I said, it wasn't anything to write home about. Definitely after it changed ownership, but like I said, that's based on one experience, so I should go back and try it again. So I was interested in buying real estate up in this area. That's one of my side gigs. Like I've mentioned, my viewer on my other channel, he had a side gig doing, and he may still be part of that thing. I think he may be attached to it for the rest of his life for some reason, but they did something different than I do. They kind of buy, fix and flip, and I buy and hold and rent, which is really becoming a pain in the ass. Ever since the COVID thing, it's just really it's a problem. We have to deal with problems, but one of the biggest problems is I own in Philly and I live not there, so getting contractors is difficult, and I end up doing a lot of the work myself, which is an ordeal because I live so far away. We've thought about possibly getting a property management company in, but I've been hearing horror stories about those guys too. I just kind of want to get out of Philly and buy something closer. But my point is that the market is just ridiculous. Like all properties, no matter where you look, the prices have spiked to completely unreasonable prices, and I don't quite understand it. Like, and people are buying. I like, So, like, right now might be the good time to sell. But I would still like to own property. Passive income is the best income. It's not really passive because I have to do so much work, but you get the idea. Oh, I caught a red light. Another reason to get out of Philly is like it's getting really bad there. I mean, the zombie situation is like we've gone down there a few times and like, you know, under the underpasses, like down Frankfurt, like the drug situation, like people just all strung out, and it's very sad. There's people going around making videos, just filming the people, like just what's going on down there. It's like it is so out of control. Not to mention the crime, like all the shootings and the carjackings and the monkeys and the biting. It's from Futurama. What did I say I was going to do on the way home? Was I going to stop somewhere? I was talking about sauerkraut. I really don't remember. I don't think so. I mean, I'm going to go home and I'm going to get that stick. I said I was going to make sausage. I want sauerkraut, but I don't have any sauerkraut. Should I stop for sauerkraut? Should I just keep saying sauerkraut? Do I even want sauerkraut? Sauerkraut. I could, like, I'm close. I'm close to the point where I have to end the video. But there's like 2 minutes until it hits the 1 hour mark. And even though I can't think of anything else to say, obviously I was just saying sauerkraut over and over and over again for no reason. I really don't want to let it end the video at less than an hour. There's an aspect ratio I want to try on this. I think I'm going to do it tomorrow afternoon. I don't know if you can do it with a reverse camera. I think you can only do it with a forward camera. I think I will start doing that in the afternoons. I think I'll film with the forward camera after I get on the highway. That way you get to see in case something fun happens. Is there a rule? Do I have to blur out all the license plates if I'm filming while I'm driving? Because that sounds like it'll be a hassle. Or do I have to drive up to every person? It's like, hey, I'm filming you. I need you to sign this consent form. Bet you there's a tool out there somewhere where you can like run your video through it. It recognizes license plates and just automatically blurs them. Like I said, I don't know if you have to or not. I know when people take pictures of their cars and stuff like that, they always got the finger blocking the license plate so you can't see the license plate. There we go. 1 hour. And you guys thought you were going to get to go home early. I wonder if my wife got to get home early. Like, it's one of those presentation things, so I'm sure they're going to, you know, do the whole darn thing. She's not going to get to leave early. we're close enough. I'll actually let you go. Have a wonderful day.